Hello, hello, welcome everyone. This is part 2 of my color along out of Gnome Sweet Gnome by Teresa Goodridge. So if you're following along or want to join in, this is the book we are working out of, and this is the page we are on, April Showers. And the hashtag is hashtag finishgnomesweetgnomewithashley if you are interested in participating or sharing your pages. For this one, I'm going to start with the trees. So I'm going to leave my clouds alone for a minute. Get some more colors in here so I can kind of decide what I want to do with my little gnomes. I did break out a brand new white gel pen out of the box to do the clouds with, but I kind of want to see how my colors turn out before I decide what color I want to do my clouds for sure. So for the trees, I pulled Prussian green and apple green to start with. I will have one more green, I just haven't decided what it is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting my shadows in with the Prussian green. So I'm not going to color the little kind of leaves she has poking out, but I'm going to shadow around them a little bit. Give this bush a little bit of life. And I'm not going around all the little pieces. I'm just kind of picking and choosing some spots. So we have a nice mix of greens going here. And I'm not going to do any yellows on the top like the sun is shining off them because we have a cloudy, rainy day. So I am going to stick to darker greens and help with that rainy day effect. We had snow last weekend and now we are in the 60s. And then next week, of course, just in time for track to have to sit outside and watch track, we're supposed to be in the 30s. So gotta love spring. Alright, so again, just kind of randomly placing some of the darker. You could go around and color around all the little leaves she's drawn in if you want to, but I don't think I need to. Maybe shade it a little. Try not to forget this section right here. I have seen so many cool versions of this umbrella and the stones. The creative ideas are flowing and I love it. I've seen black umbrellas with rainbow dots to match the rainbow up here, white umbrella with rainbow dots, rainbow umbrella with black dots. I've seen the rainbow stones down here. All very neat ideas. Okay, and then when I'm happy with that, I will take the apple green. Anywhere I put that Prussian green, I'm just going over the top of it. Still leaving some white, so we'll have some highlights in these bushes still. Alright, so and then I'm gonna use, I think, a spring green. Let me find mine. Okay, change of plans. I found lime peel and I think I like the way that looks. So I'm gonna blend it all with lime peel over the top of everything. I am using medium pressure. I know it's hard to tell because this pencil is tiny, in circular motions. And then if we need to, I will take that Prussian green or even a dark green and just come back at the darkest spots where these bushes overlap and kind of darken that up so we don't lose that shadow spot at least. Alright. So I will quickly finish blending these. I just kind of wanted to show you so you could see how going over all the colors and kind of blending them looks. Smushing all my colors together here. So I'm going to finish these bushes and I will be back. Alright, so here we are so far. The only thing I did off camera, and it's because I thought I pressed start and I did not, was I took the apple green and I went around the grass here at the bottom. So if I'm going to do my stems and flower petals dark green so they stand out against this light green. You can flip it if you want, do dark green down and then light green petals and stems, totally up to you. But I just did go put a nice space down of apple green everywhere. Alright, so if you are struggling or if you don't know what something is, this is one of the pages that is colored on the cover over here. So there's a nice idea for clouds, trees, kind of have the same idea, dark bottom, light toward the tops, in between the gnomes a little bit, her grass. So you can always use that to your advantage as well. I always forget to peek at those. I forget they're there, but they are good resources if you remember to use them. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of these rocks down at the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of building around my gnomes a little bit so I can see what colors are going to pop off the page when I get to my gnomes. So I'm going to use somewhat the same colors I used up in the sky, and that's kind of going to balance our page out with the grays because we don't want a whole lot of gray up here and a whole lot of brown down here. So I'm going to pull that blue slate and those cool grays. So 70% cool gray, 50% cold gray, 20% cool gray, and then we'll kind of go from there and see what else we need. Prismacolors does have a lot of grays. They, you know, French grays, cool grays, cold grays, there's pale gray, like lots of grays. So options, lots of options for what will mesh with your page well. Throw these away real quick so I don't knock them on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to leave between my stones alone for a moment, and I am just going to take whatever the darkest gray I'm starting with is, which is going to be 70% cool gray. Okay, so I'm going to do the edge of these stones, and you can do each one a different color too. They all don't have to match. So I'm going to leave that one. We're just going to change it up a little. I'm not going to do too many because I don't want it to draw the eye down here and away from our gnomes. I'm also going to leave the water alone for now. I'm trying to make sure I'm coloring stones and not water puddles. I'm going to take 50% cold gray. Make sure I'm on camera here. So I don't really have a specific pattern. You'll see how this kind of will play out in a minute. Now where the water is on this one, I am going to darken under the water. I can do that when I come back too. So cracks in the stones here, I'm going to darken. So again, I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken under here. I'm going to take a little bit of blue, not a whole lot. I don't want blue stones. And just on these ones where this water is, I'm going to add a little blue. Water, water. And this will also blend out a little bit and not look so obvious when we get it in. Okay, and then we're gonna take our light, which is 20% for me, circular motions. And that's why I scribbled my medium gray in a little bit different pattern on each one. We can also darken if we need to. And I might need to find one darker of a gray. I don't necessarily want to go black, but do want to make sure I'm getting a nice shadow look here. So now just kind of playing and building in shapes. So let me quickly finish these stones and I will be back. Okay, so on my other couple stones here, I'm using pale cold gray. So I still have that nice cold undertone to match my sky. I have a little variation. Something is under my page. So I'm going to still use the other grays I used on my other stones, and even if you wanted to, you could use this and kind of go over it. Kind of mix your two colors and get a third color stone going. So this is that 50%. And we just do the same thing. We just kind of go back in and blend everything out here. Again, I'm going to keep it darker under the water. Hopefully if I do my water droplets right, they will look a little 3D, and then that shadow will help with that aspect of it, leaving that shadow mark. Plan anyway. Okay, so there is our stones in. Sliding off. So. The little squiggles like this one here, you don't have to do. I just kind of like how they give the rock a little more life. It's quick and simple to do. Has a nice effect. I'll finish blending those out. Okay, so now I'm just picking a couple browns and I'm going to fill in my tree. So this is light umber. And I'm putting in the brown, so if I go around these rocks down here, I can kind of see what color I want. I am not going to do my fence and my trees the same brown. Okay, so I think I got all of those in, and then I'm going to take a darker brown that's sharper that I thought I had out ready to go, but I don't. Okay, so this is a dark umber. And I'm not going over everything I just did on the trees, but I do want to shade up by the treetops a little darker. And then if they have any like knots running down them, I'm going to darken those as well. I'm tempted to do a white fence, honestly, but we will see. Okay, the next thing is behind the trees. I haven't decided if I want to bring my sky down or if I want to do trees behind it and just color it green. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring my sky down. So I'm going to take that warm gray I used up there. Remember, we used a little of that blue. To come up with that cloudy day look. Okay, now we're going to take that white pencil. Careful with the white pencil. If you hit your tree or that green, you're going to drag it into your cloudy sky. I probably should have put this in before I put everything else in, but I was indecisive on what I wanted to do. Happens. we're gonna peek these last couple little spots in and make sure that looks, everything's meshing. Okay, let's go ahead and get some flowers in, and then the next video all we should have to do is a little bit of water and our gnomes. Hopefully. I'm gonna pull, take a pink. So I've already used these colors up here, so we're just kind of bringing them downwards. So I'm gonna color a couple of these pink, and I am gonna come back and darken them up a little. If you're doing blonde hair, be careful of putting yellow flowers right next to her. I'm gonna take an orange. This one's Spanish orange, probably. Make sure my yellow tip is clean. Do these ones yellow. Sharpen that green. And I'm going to get along this fence right here. And then of course our little stems and petals left out. That just brings our yellow flowers out a little more without having to make the whole section dark green. So now we got our flowers and our grass in. Okay, and I am leaning towards a white fence in my background here, so I'm going to take this 70% cool gray, sorry. Wrong one. And I will finish blending out these rocks too, but I am going to, I'm going to shadow my fence. So it's going to be a white fence, but I still want it to have a little color to it, and it's not going to look this dark. We're going to use that white pencil and blend it out. I'm going to take a touch of this blue and that white, I'm going to make sure there's no other colors on it. Doesn't ruin my fence. Just a couple spots there. Sorry, I thought I forgot to hit start again. I'm on a roll with that today. Alright, so there is my little white fence in. Kind of making sure I get the top of my fence so I don't lose it in the trees there. Alright. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do before we go is I'm going to quickly do my clouds, and then that way I can kind of finish those off camera. These are Mungyo pastels. Mine are super old, probably going on like 4 years old. They are well loved. They are a mess. They have been dropped, mixed up, broken, borrowed, all the things. So if you order a set, yours will be prettier. But these have lasted me forever, and I do quite enjoy them. So I'm going to pick a gray out of there. And then how you want to put it on your paper is up to you. You can take an X-Acto knife and you can shave it on there. You can use a Q-tip and kind of rub it on there. I know some people use eyeshadow applicators. Tons of options. I'm going to try a Q-tip. I don't know that I'm going to like it. I might need a darker gray as well. Trial and error, trial and error. I didn't want to go too dark right off because I don't want to lose my clouds in the background either. There we go. So this will take a little patience. You can do the whole cloud, or you can just kind of outline. And I forgot I just put gel pen there. Just making sure my gel pen started. I'm going to leave some white in the middle. I'm just kind of going around. And then if you got any, you know, rainbow colors, you can just kind of dab over it. You can really get into the details with the pastels if you are wanting to. You know, you can get a darker one. I can go back to this lighter one now. Kind of use it as a blender. But after I get them how I want them with the dark, and I think I might even do a couple spots even darker. That's why I said I can play with it off camera. Because it's just mainly playing until you get the look you're going for. Do the bottom a little darker. After I get it all set up how I would like, I'm going to take a gel pen. These are the Brush Earth white gel pens. I bought these thinking they were Artesa's, and they have worked great. So I've just stuck with them because they're like, well, they were like $6 for 8 of them. They may have gone up, but they are also 0.8 millimeters for the tip, so they don't clog as easy. They don't skip. They're real smooth. White gel pens and things are like, you know, asking somebody their favorite white gel pen is kind of like asking what their favorite pencil is. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. I know lots of people say Jelly Roll, but honestly, I could not get Jelly Roll to work for me. I love all their other colors and gel pens. The white just didn't do it for me. It felt like more of a struggle. So I found these. I was like, oh, we're gonna stick with what works, and this is what works. Because Posca pens are expensive. I am excited to see they started selling Poscas in Walmart though. And in smaller sets if you just need the black and whites. That might be a worthwhile investment. I will just go around and outline that whole cloud, do the same to those two, and that will be my sky. So then when we come back, all we should have to do is finish up a little bit of our ground and pick some gnome colors, and we will be about done. Questions, comments, requests, anything like that, please let me know. I will link the pastels and the gel pens down below if anybody would like a link to those. And I hope to see you for part 3. Thanks for watching. Bye.